Greetings, my friends. I'm Carla, the Cosmic Crone, and it is so lovely to be back with you. I took some time off. I haven't been live since the new moon reading almost 2 weeks ago. I read it on, I think, Friday or Thursday, I forget now. Because, how did you like that deep dive? 15 planets in retrograde. I haven't actually looked at the chart today to see if any of them have shifted direct. 15 planets in a row. And coming on the tail of that eclipse season, we were all taken down, taken in deep. And lots of releasing, lots of shifting, and I just surrendered to it. I did a sweat ceremony. I did everything that I have done on my land, in my home. Everything, all of my work has been about release. And I turned everything into a ritual of release. Pulling weeds, clipping grass, pruning. There's been a lot of work on the land and with the land. And it's all about me releasing. Lots of work in the water. And of course, from work in the water, it means I go for a swim in the ocean. But it's all healing. It's all feeding me. And so I hope your time, this new moon, this past new moon, and in this past week has been equally rich, equally potent and effective. And it's just time. It's time for me to come back and begin teaching again and begin sharing some of what I've learned. I let myself take the time I needed to integrate, and it's not all done, but what is integrated is going to cross my lips and into your ears. So I hope it is of value to you. And what is coming up in terms, it came from my reading. I spend every morning it's soul journaling. Some would say it's the Akashic record. Tapping into my deepest truth, tapping into what I don't know that I know, and getting my instructions. I drop into my womb, I open my journal, I ask, I have my questions ready, and then I write. And I was told to pick up this book again, which I read last year. And If Women Rose Rooted by Sharon Blackie, extraordinary book, wonderful. It's a wonderful Celtic mythic guide through female initiation. And I thought I was going to read something else. And I opened the book, and this is where my eyes landed. The call comes when we break. Wow. The call comes, and so I kept reading. The chapter I was looking for, no, later for that. The call comes when we break, or are ready to break. Sometimes it may come in the form of a change of circumstance. A relationship ends, we lose our job, we become ill, a child leaves home, a loved one dies. Yes, these are the big things that can trigger the call with women, that sudden wake up, that moment of, oh, whose life am I living anyway? The life I had planned is not working, is not the life I am meant for. Or the life that I had planned has played out, and it's time for something else. I don't know about you, but I've had many of those moments. I've had all of these things happen, and each one of them was a new phase of the call. Thank goodness I haven't become ill, although I've had children become ill. Sometimes the call comes to us in a dream. And I had such a dream. In fact, before I knew I was being called, I had a dream. And I made some art about it, and perhaps in the next, maybe I'll show it to you. I dreamt that I went out on a boat with strangers, not with my family. And at the time, my children were still at home. I think they were teenagers. I was already living in Maine. I was definitely living many aspects of someone else's life. I was doing a job and a career that was never meant for me, teaching school. I just kind of drifted into it. My children were still at home. I was still married to my husband, and my life was not working for me. The only thing that really was working is I was in Maine. Oh my God, we had moved to Maine, and Maine was waking me up. After almost 20 years in New York City, this country girl, this nature mama, was living in the countryside in Maine, near the coast, near the water, the big sky, the dark sky, the stars, learning for the first time the way the moon and the sun move on the horizon, the way the stars move at night. I was waking up, which is how I knew I wasn't really living my life. I was living a settled life, a life that was someone else's idea, because I hadn't at that point the courage to define my own life. And when we are living that kind of life, the life someone else planned, that's when we will hear the call, because we will be called out of that life. And our souls will do whatever it takes, to the point of making us sick, creating disaster, creating a pandemic. Hi, Susan, welcome. Yes, you know about this. You do this work with women. Anyway, my dream was, it was one of those, it turned into a lucid dream, which I don't have too many lucid dreams, but some of them are. And this one, I had escaped from my family. I was out on a boat, and it was like a big dory, almost like a Gloucester whaling boat, where the men would row out and harpoon the whale from the bigger ship. But it was for tourists, and it was in a harbor, not New York City, not any city I was familiar with, but in the harbor of a city. And so this boat, it was like a tour of the harbor, and I was alone, but there were other people, other families, other people I didn't know. So I didn't really owe them anything. Had my children been on the boat, I think it would have been a very different dream. But this was just me in the boat. And all of a sudden, looking out towards the ocean from the harbor, in my dream, there was a wall of water, a tsunami, a tidal wave. And everybody starts screaming, "We're going to die!" And me, in my dream, and this is where the lucid part came in, I was thinking, it was terrifying. And I was thinking, I'm not going to die, but how shall I best survive this? Do I hang on or let go? And it was so potent, so powerful. Do I hang on or let go? And I woke up. And that question stayed with me. And it stayed with me for months because I didn't know the answer. What do I let go of? At the time, I didn't believe in divorce. I had childhood trauma around divorce. My parents did not divorce, but it was something I was afraid of. And I won't go into that story right now, but I associated divorce with sin. It was never going to happen to me. I was dedicated to the relationship in my marriage. Quitting my job, not an option. What would I do? But my job was killing me. I knew that, and it was toxic. It was more than just not a good fit. There was toxic shit going on, and do I hang on or let go? And of course, the smart part of me knew, well, of course the answer is let go. The answer is always let go. But it was like, no, 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 I have an option. I can hang on. I can survive by hanging on. And so I can remember I would walk through the woods. I lived on the knees of Hatchet Mountain. And I walked through the woods. I walked and walked. I walked up and down the roads. I walked and thought and questioned. And every single day that question would come to me. What is the answer? How do I survive this? Do I hang on or let go? And beautifully, even though my relationship with astrology at that time was just like pop astrology, open the newspaper, read what it says about Pisces, ha ha ha, astrology saved me. It answered my question. Carla, you're a fish. You can swim. The ocean is your element. Of course you will survive this. Let go. Jump. Swim. Let go. And I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't, and yet I knew I had my truth. I knew I had the answer to my first wake-up call that I remember consciously. And so began what was a process of letting go. Because one thing I know about myself, maybe you can relate, I am very stubborn. You will pry the things that hurt me out of my cold, dead, rigor mortis hands. I hate this. I want it to change. I don't want this anymore. And I will hang on. I am stubborn like that. I used to be stubborn like that. I'm moving through things a little faster these days. I didn't do all this work for nothing. That was 25 years ago, almost. My first wake-up call. So I'm curious, what was yours? What was your first wake-up call? Do you hang on? Do you let go? Sharon Blackie had a dream. She described her dream as meeting a hag with a hound. And there were other elements of the dream. But she didn't know what it meant at the time, but in due course, she realized she had met Hecate in her dreams, the crone at the crossroad, the hag who holds the keys to the underworld. She was about to go on a descent. And so was I with my letting go. And I have been on descent and ascent many times in my life. Especially since then, even before then, but at the time I didn't know it. I think I was in a descent well underway when I had that dream. So we meet the crone at the crossroads. We meet our guide. We meet the kick in the pants, the rug pulled out from under us, the shock, the big mistake, the disaster. You know, sometimes, oh my gosh, I have known many women and their wake-up calls. It comes lots of ways, very often with something you least expect. I did not know that letting go meant letting go of everything. The job, the marriage, and the practice continually of letting go. And I would say that I probably maybe got a diploma in letting go this last new moon. It's like resisting letting go of what is ready to die, or what is ready, what is finished, what is metabolized. I've been consciously working with the techniques of letting go, helping other people to let go. working with ceremonies and rituals of letting go, and I honestly think I let go of a lot of stuff this weekend personally, and I'm very grateful for that, which is why I'm here with you today. And I'm curious, as you listen to this, if you're willing, you can certainly place in the, tell me a story, give me a clue down in the, make a comment or something about, what was your big wake-up call like? I'd love to know. You can metabolize. That's beautiful. I'm stealing that, Susan. Metabolize or metastasize. Exactly. We've got to burn it up. That image of letting go was water. Sometimes our letting go is fire. And sometimes, very often, our rituals of letting go involve fire. Sometimes it's air, and sometimes it's earth. We go through shamanic dismemberment and burial. We go deep, we go down, and the earth is the one who holds us through all this letting go. So I'm wondering, what is your call? You just made that up when I said metabolize. Yeah, poets. We've got to talk. There is coming a day when you and I have some collaboration to do. When we'll know when we're ripe for that. No need to rush it. It's got to be in the right moment. You love your ocean too. You like the southern oceans. I like the northern oceans. So what do I have for you today? I'll tell you what I've got for you. Very often when women reach out to me because they are feeling the call and they need some help because they don't know what it means, that's what happened to me. I needed help. It took. I had a therapist at the time, or got one soon after. I can't remember the exact sequence. And then eventually, a couple of years later, I found a priestess and kind of a shamanic visionary teacher, and I began my spiritual path. But I had people in my world who could kind of guide me. Yeah. Oh yeah, you heard the call. And it wasn't that they were saying, I can guide you, you've heard the call, or I need a guide, I've heard the call. I mostly just said, I am a freaking mess, I need help, I don't know what's going on. I'm scared, something's got to give. My life is killing me. And so I went searching, and love, God, the universe sent me help. So I was not alone through this. And so people find people like me or people like Susan when they are getting the call, and they don't want to be alone in this. They need some support figuring out what happens. So one time, okay, this is the point I'm getting to. Very often women find me. 2 points. All that stuff that I've just described, the wake-up calls of life changes and dreams and such, that happens. But also they're turning 50, their Chiron return, yes, astrology, or they are entering a second Saturn return. They're in their late 50s, and that Saturn return is looming. And so those two things by themselves will shift and start that nudge towards the wake-up call. And if you listen to that, you may not need some of the bigger stuff. Of course, some of it's natural life cycle, menopause and children leaving home and parents dying. That happens. That's normal. But what begins to come up is all the things we didn't have time to deal with while we were raising children, taking care of sick parents, building careers, living someone else's life in some cases. So, yes, Chiron and Saturn. They are, and so if you're wondering what that is and you're intrigued, or you do know what that is and you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's time, I need to look at that, then I recommend Desire and Destiny. the Desire and Destiny Intensive. That is my introductory private program. It is, oh, there's light coming in my mirror. Anyway, Desire and Destiny is my introductory private program. It is 30 days. It is a Divine Feminine Astrology Reading where we look and see where you are in relation to your desire, to your destiny, your fate, where you've been, what's up for healing right now, and where are your resources. What is calling you forward in this moment? Yes, guidance for that is in your astrology chart, especially the way I read it with the goddess points. It shows aspects that many astrologers do not read. And we look at the divine feminine, which it works for men, but it especially works for women. And then we have 2 follow-up sessions where we dig deeper into your desire and into what you really want. And I introduce you to the power of your womb. You drop in to your inner truth. Oh, I like that. The light on my mouth. I must be saying something truthful. The light is coming out of my mouth. So this program is available. I have space for a couple of people in it right now. It is private. It's one-on-one with me. And if you go ahead and enroll right now, like immediately, we can get it all done in August. And you will be starting the autumn with something fresh and new, with a new direction, with clarity, with strength, with knowing where your resources and your power is. So, yes, if you're feeling the call, then don't do it alone. Get some help. And I would love to hear from you about Desire and Destiny. Right now, if you're listening, you can go. I'm going to put the link after we publish this. I'll put the link for, it's cosmiccrone.com/desire-destiny. But I'll put it in the comments, and you can also just hit message me, and I'll send you the link. And you can look at it and check in and see if it's the thing for you to do right now. So that's what I want you to know about. It's great to be back with you. I missed you. I felt so alone without coming and talking to you. And we are gearing up for full moon. Probably by this weekend, I'll be doing a full moon reading. And I am thrilled. I'm thrilled that you're here, Susan. It's so good to see you. And I'm thrilled to see everyone else who's on here. And blessed be. Enjoy this moment of fullness, of growing fullness, of feeling yourself emerging from the dark of the moon and moving towards what's next and what's calling you. So until next time, I'll see you soon. Thank you, Susan. It's great to have you here. Bye-bye.